The United States is clear. We will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon.
For Iran, the development of a nuclear program has been seen as a way of asserting its position as a regional power and establishing itself as a dominant player in the Middle East. However, despite numerous attempts and investments, the program has consistently faced setbacks and failures. Iran's nuclear program has faced economic sanctions, cyber attacks, and even assassinations of nuclear scientists. Many countries, particularly the United States and its allies, have expressed concerns that Iran's nuclear program may be used to develop nuclear weapons. Despite this, Iran has maintained that its nuclear program is only for peaceful purposes and has refused to halt its nuclear activities. This has also led to significant tensions with other countries, particularly those who see Iran's nuclear program as a threat to regional security. The combination of international pressure, technological limitations, and diplomatic tensions makes it clear that Iran's nuclear program is destined to fail. Before we uncover why it may ultimately fail, we need to first understand the backstory behind Iran's nuclear ambitions and the historic deal that prevented Iran from becoming a nuclear nation in the first place.
Today, after 2 years of negotiations, the United States, together with our international partners, has achieved something that decades of animosity has not: a comprehensive long-term deal with Iran that will prevent it from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
The Iran Nuclear Agreement, or the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, was a game-changing deal that Iran and several world powers, including the United States, signed in July 2015. It was hailed as a landmark agreement because it required Iran to dismantle much of its nuclear program. It allowed for more extensive international inspections in exchange for billions of dollars worth of sanctions relief. Many people believed that the deal would prevent a revival of Iran's nuclear weapons program and reduce the likelihood of conflict with other countries in the Middle East, such as Israel and Saudi Arabia. In 2018, then US President Donald Trump abandoned the deal and reinstated US sanctions. He wanted a new deal that would also curb Iran's ballistic missile program and its involvement in regional conflicts.
This was a horrible, one-sided deal that should have never, ever been made. It didn't bring calm, it didn't bring peace, and it never will.
But Iran refused and saw its economy plunge into a recession as the sanctions took effect. Reports are suggesting that Iran has been enriching uranium to levels beyond what was agreed upon in the treaty. This has raised concerns about Iran's true nuclear intentions, and its refusal to cooperate with international inspectors is only making things worse. Located between Isfahan and Kashan in central Iran, Natanz is a critical part of Iran's nuclear program and is recognized as the country's central facility for uranium enrichment. As of mid-2024, Iran is constructing a vast network of tunnels at Natanz that could house a massive enrichment facility, making it a perfect place to bunker nuclear weapons. The Bushehr nuclear power plant also marked a major milestone for Iran. Since then, Iran has been busy constructing the Darkovin nuclear power plant and has even expressed plans to build more medium-sized nuclear power plants and uranium mines. In 2023, Iran increased its stockpiles of uranium enrichment to 60%. This type of uranium can be easily converted to weapons-grade levels. Although Iran has not yet made an official decision to produce nuclear weapons, the growing stockpiles are causing some concern that it might become a possibility. So why is Iran's nuclear program destined for failure despite such ambitions and efforts? One of the most major reasons is severe sanctions. Since 2005, Iran has found itself in the crosshairs of the international community due to its breach of treaties concerning nuclear weapon development. The European Union, United Nations, and the United States swiftly responded by imposing a series of targeted sanctions on Iran's economy and government structures. By restricting Iran's access to global financial systems, the cost of its nuclear program soared, making it increasingly unsustainable. Iran's economy heavily relies on oil exports, and curbing its oil revenue impacted its ability to fund nuclear activities. The ultimate goal was to bring Iran to the negotiating table, encouraging the acceptance of restrictions on its nuclear program and the implementation of rigorous inspections. The United States imposed fresh sanctions on networks supporting Iran's ballistic missile defense and nuclear programs in 2018, complicating the path to normalization.
Washington once again sending mixed signals to Tehran. On Tuesday, the US slapped fresh economic sanctions on the Islamic Republic, just hours after confirming that while Iran is technically abiding by the 2015 nuclear deal, it's failing to live up to the quote-unquote spirit of the agreement.
International pressure plays a crucial role in influencing Iran's behavior. Sanctions have been a powerful tool, but their effectiveness depends on global cooperation. The United States, European Union, Russia, China, and other signatories must maintain a united front to exert pressure on Iran. However, it's challenging to maintain a united front against Iran when the United States, European Union, Russia, China, and other signatories often grapple with their own internal issues and conflicts. Iran's quest to develop nuclear weapons has been a bumpy ride, as various technological limitations have hampered progress and altered the course of its nuclear program for the worst. At the core of any nuclear program lies uranium enrichment. However, Iran's centrifuge technology has faced several hurdles, including outdated centrifuges and breakout time. Under the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action implemented in 2015, Iran was limited to using older and less efficient centrifuges. Centrifuges are crucial components in the process of enriching uranium. These machines spin at extremely high speeds, separating isotopes of uranium by their mass. They allow for the production of fuel suitable for nuclear reactors, which can generate highly enriched uranium for nuclear weapons. But these limitations affected the speed at which Iran could enrich uranium, making its enrichment process slower due to technological constraints. Despite this, it still posed a risk. As Iran increased its stockpiles of uranium enrichment to 60%, the path to weapons-grade material shortened. This means that upgrading the efficiency of Iran's centrifuges remains a key challenge for the country's nuclear program. To achieve its nuclear ambitions, Iran invested heavily in the Bushehr nuclear reactor, spending up to $8 billion. However, the reactor's electricity production yielded only around $5 billion, leaving a modest profit. Sadly, this diversion of resources impacted Iran's overall energy infrastructure. Iran's nuclear reactor may have left them with a modest profit, but it sounds like they're getting a shock from their electricity bill. Neglected fossil fuel plants and insufficient investments in renewables led to serious power shortages. Iran's focus on nuclear energy came at the expense of its fossil fuel power generation infrastructure. Therefore, Iran needs to strike a balance between investing in nuclear energy and ensuring the sustainability of its energy infrastructure. However, Iran's decision not to install additional advanced IR-6 centrifuges at the Fordow uranium enrichment facility was significant. Had they done so, the proliferation risk would have increased due to the site's inaccessibility for conventional military strikes. Therefore, ensuring the transparency of military sites and monitoring their activities is essential for preventing the breakout of Iran's nuclear program. However, Iran is also working on a research reactor to establish a robust neutron source for various applications. Additionally, the country has announced the construction of 4 nuclear plants, collectively named Iran Hormoz, in the strategic Hormozgan province, known for its industrial and economic potential. But much like the rest of the nuclear program, these two are destined to fail. Developing and maintaining nuclear reactors involves complex engineering and scientific knowledge. Reactors require regular maintenance, upgrades, and replacement of components. Iran needs skilled personnel and resources to address technical challenges, something which it does not possess much. Internal challenges and political instability within Iran have further complicated its nuclear ambitions. Factional divisions within Iran impact decision-making and policy formulation, with different groups holding divergent views on the nuclear program. Some advocate for its continuation, while others seek to limit or abandon it. This internal dynamic constantly influences the regime's plan of action, making Iran's nuclear policy a subject of ongoing debate and shifting power balance. Even leadership changes or major events, such as the death of the supreme leader, can create uncertainty about the future of Iran's nuclear program. Contending regional players, including Saudi Arabia and Israel, closely monitor Iran's nuclear activities. They may respond by developing their own nuclear capabilities or adjusting their security strategies. As the world closely monitors Iran's nuclear program and the potential threat it poses, one country stands out as a formidable obstacle to Iran's quest for nuclear power: Israel. Israel and Iran used to be allies until 1979. Since then, following the Islamic Revolution, Iran sees Israel as its arch enemy. Iranian leaders had threatened over and over again to destroy Israel. With a long history of conflict and a strong stance against nuclear proliferation, Israel has been a vocal opponent of Iran's nuclear program and has taken action to prevent it from becoming a nuclear power, going as far as conducting several covert operations against Iran's top nuclear scientists and nuclear programs. It's also worth noting that Israel has carried out a number of covert operations against Iran's nuclear program over the years. One of the most famous ones happened in 2010 when the Stuxnet computer virus damaged up to 1,000 centrifuges in the Natanz facility. But that's not all. In July 2020, a mysterious explosion occurred at the same site. Since 2010, a series of targeted killings has claimed the lives of several Iranian scientists involved in the country's nuclear program. These assassinations typically involved sophisticated methods, including remote-controlled bombs, motorcycle-mounted gunmen, and magnetic bombs attached to vehicles. And let's not forget about the recent assassination of Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, the mastermind of Iran's nuclear project in November 2020. And the way that Israel carried it out is even more mind-blowing. On the day of the killing, Fakhrizadeh insisted he drive his wife from their vacation home near the Caspian Sea to a country home in Absard. Though security measures were in place to protect Fakhrizadeh along the way, an Israeli assassin was able to identify and assassinate him from 1,000 miles away using a satellite-controlled machine gun capable of shooting up to 600 rounds per minute.
Mohsen Fakhrizadeh died of his wounds after gunmen fired on his car. Fakhrizadeh has long been regarded by Israel and Western intelligence agencies as the mastermind behind the country's covert nuclear weapons program.
By targeting key figures within Iran's nuclear infrastructure, Israel aims to delay Iran's progress toward acquiring nuclear weapons, even if that means death.
Nuclear scientist who was a key player in Iran's nuclear program killed in broad daylight.
Despite not taking responsibility for these strikes, Israel has made it clear that it will not allow Iran to have nuclear weapons. Israel has already destroyed Arab nuclear reactors in Iraq in 1981 and in Syria in 2007. Many wonder whether Israel would try to do the same in Iran, as the only country in the world to have successfully destroyed 2 nuclear reactors. Israel's military has not only proved its capability to carry out such operations, but Israel's government has also demonstrated its willingness to use military force when it concludes that it is facing a threat of this magnitude. While conducting a strike on Iran's nuclear facilities won't be a walk in the park, it remains within the realm of possibility for the Israeli military. To carry out such an operation, the Israeli Air Force might deploy a substantial number of aircraft, including advanced fighter jets like the F-35, as well as command and control aircraft, rescue helicopters, and drones. The Israeli Air Force has the GBU-28, which can penetrate underground fortifications, and don't forget about the 5,000-pound laser-guided bombs that could be used in a strike against Iran's nuclear facilities. Iran's Air Force would also be less of a problem for Israel. Even Iran's best fighters like the F-14 and MiG-29 are quite obsolete. And let's not forget that Israel is a nuclear power itself. Even though Israel does not admit nor deny having nuclear weapons, it is estimated that they have 90 nuclear warheads, which it could leverage in case of an all-out war against Iran. Even if Israel is not able to fully destroy Iran's nuclear reactors, the goal of a strike would be to damage Iran's program and then work with Western powers to impose tough sanctions with the aim of preventing reconstruction of the program. Most Gulf Arab states have ties with Israel, officially or not, and there is a cooperation between them, including in the security level. Arab states like Saudi Arabia might actually want Israel to bomb Iran's nuclear sites, but without supporting it publicly. The international community faces a persistent challenge in preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. Despite imposing severe sanctions and even resorting to targeted assassinations of nuclear scientists, this constant struggle proves to be a hassle. Unfortunately, there remains a sense of inevitability that Iran will eventually acquire nuclear weapons, leading to further instability in the region.